Now, I know y'all already heard the Lakers have had one of the most abysmal seasons in franchise history as it pertains to their expectations. But let me tell you what no one else will. LeBron James is taking far too much heat for this Lakers demise. Why? Because LeBron James is a prisoner of his own success. Here's the problem. We compare LeBron James to LeBron James as opposed to comparing LeBron James to other greats. Think about LeBron James's generational greats. Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, the dudes in his draft class. Dwayne Wade, baller, Hall of Famer, but he's currently at 37 years old, enjoying another successful career. He's no longer in the NBA as great as D. Wade was. Hall of Famer, like I said. Think about Carmelo Anthony, Hall of Famer, future to be as well. But at 37 years old, Melo on the bench. LeBron James, meanwhile, he's still kicking at 37 years old. Compare LeBron James this season to his averages. Up in points, significantly. Up in boards, and minor down in assists. But think about the generational, no, the all-time greats at 37 years old, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. See, even Kareem, as great as he was, when Kareem was 37, he was nowhere near his former self. And Kareem, the scoring leader. Kareem, a top 5, top 3 player of all time. Think about the GOAT, Michael Jordan. At 37 years old, he was on his second retirement. So if we're going to talk about LeBron James, just don't talk about him as the reason the Lakers fell short this year, because LeBron James still sits on the throne. Don't compare LeBron James to his 21-year-old self. You don't do that in any other profession, comparing somebody in their ancient days to the younger days. Compare LeBron James to the generational greats and compare LeBron James to the all-time greats, and you will see LeBron James did his part, and he's taken way too much heat. But I got to join my team at the desk, because Marcellus Wiley is out, joined by co-host of The Herd, Joy Taylor, and Fox NBA analyst Slick Ric Bucher. Slick, you think LeBron has taken too much criticism this season?
What did you just do? What did you just do?
Besides a phenomenal breakdown.
I knew that you were going to try to find your way back to the brighter side of LeBron James. I just knew it, because I knew yesterday was an aberration. And indeed you did.
Okay, first off, stop with the big words. No SAT words today. You said umbrage yesterday and you said aberration today.
Man,
I don't want
you
none
have
of them.
written 3 books now, correct?
Three?
And I use basic words,
3
cat in the hat.
The children's book as well.
Green eggs and
3 books.
ham.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aberration. Go ahead.
No, he has not taken too much criticism. Russell Westbrook has taken too much criticism. Frank Vogel has taken too much criticism. LeBron James has not taken nearly enough criticism. If he did not build this team, the team was built for him.
Okay.
And he has not just damaged his brand, he damaged the Lakers brand. He tarnished the Lakers brand. This season has damaged the Lakers more than anyone in recent memory, because they had the stars. They had the expectation, and they did not deliver. LeBron James is the biggest factor on this team. So if I'm going to give him credit for winning the championship in the bubble, and I did, and if I'm going to say that going back to Cleveland and winning a championship in Cleveland was the greatest achievement of his career. Now, there were other people that contributed to those things, but I said LeBron James was the driving force behind them. If I'm going to say he's the driving force behind those successes, then I have to give him the blame for this falling apart as mightily as it did.
Slick, I can't even say that I love you. Typically, I try to preface with something nice. You know, the sandwich,
and you're not even going to do that.
I can't even do it.
That's fine.
You had the audacity to say LeBron James tarnished the Lakers brand. LeBron James, prior to showing up in L.A., the Lakers, how many times did they miss the playoffs consecutively? As I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times before LeBron shows up. The Lakers brand was already tarnished. The Lakers brand was already lackluster. The Lakers brand was already a shell of itself. LeBron James shows up, and all of a sudden, he takes the Lakers to a title. Now, I will talk later on about why I think LeBron James may have tarnished his own legacy. But I don't think LeBron tarnished the Lakers brand. I think that we are looking at LeBron James as though this is all his fault. When LeBron James the Lakers are only in the position they are in as far as being relevant again because of LeBron James. But Joy, where do you stand? At least enlighten me. Do you think LeBron has taken too much criticism?
No, I don't, because he's the king. You're the king. This is your kingdom. You remind us on every tweet. That is the #1 most used emoji by LeBron James. We all have our favorites. Mine is apparently the muscle emoji or the party.
We got to get you the
party
mother
hat.
of dragons.
Yeah, I do. I do need to. I need to use the dragon more.
You've been compared to.
Oh, I saw that today. I like that. I like that comparison. Even though she loses it at the end of the show, but it's fine. She wins. Yes, he does deserve a lot of criticism. All of the criticism? Absolutely not. To my point earlier this week when we were discussing how much LeBron has been scoring this year, I think LeBron has been the one positive about this season. Not only has he kept them relevant, he's mostly been healthy. When he has been on the floor, he's been scoring, which I think is a response to this roster, AD being out and Russell Westbrook struggling. But he absolutely deserves a lot of criticism.
Sure.
You can't be the king. You can't be LeBron James. You can't get all the credit when it's going well and not get the criticism when it goes poorly. Now, I think over the next couple weeks, we will hear different stories as people are beginning to plant their flag. I'm glad you brought up Game of Thrones, because that is really what this is starting to feel like. Everyone's sort of staking their claim and trying to take little slices out of their blame pie. And LeBron deserves a healthy slice. He gets the slice of the party when you're like, oh, you want some cake? Like, yeah, but just a little bit, not a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like, and they still give you too much, but it's not exactly the big slice that the birthday boy gets. Yeah. That's the slice of pie.
Never actually complained about that, though.
I usually eat it. That's the point. He does deserve a lot of criticism. He is the face of this organization right now. To Rick's point, he may not have forced this roster, but he certainly approved this roster.
Sure.
He certainly signed off on this roster. And you can't boast about your power and then pass the buck when the Reaper comes. That's not how it works.
Here's my issue. Joy, how many nephews and nieces you got?
I lost count.
You got
like
12. 8, 9, 10, 12. Slick, how many kids?
Two.
Two kids. What you all sound like, unfortunately, y'all sound like ungrateful kids. Why do I bring that up? Slick, you've had, I'm sure at some point in time, your kids may have lacked gratitude, and they forget that they are tenants in your house. They don't own the house.
Right.
They just tenants in your house.
I've got to remind them of that.
Anything that they actually use, you gave them. The cell phone, you gave them. The car, you gave them. The backpack, you gave them. The clothes, you gave them. So if they wanted to fix their lips and be like, well, Dad, you got to remind them, without me, y'all wouldn't have none of this. Without LeBron James, the Lakers wouldn't have any of this. They wouldn't even be relevant. So how can y'all
have what? They're not in the playoffs.
What do they have?
Okay, they're relevant. Again, we're talking about the Lakers.
Since when is the bar relevancy for the Lakers?
We're talking about their failures. They're not in the playoffs.
When is the bar relevancy for the Lakers? In 2018 and 19, when LeBron James showed back up and made them relevant again. Now, y'all bring up a great point that the Lakers are not in the playoffs, but it's not LeBron's fault if the man is giving you not just the 30 points, because we argued about that. I ain't talking about the 30 points. If LeBron is better today than he was yesterday, then how are we going to be mad at LeBron James? LeBron James is playing some of the best basketball of his career. It's just not adding up, but they're not adding it up. But I'm not going to sit here and be mad at 37-year-old LeBron James when he's still playing like 27-year-old LeBron James.
But he's not. And Marcellus is not here, but you opted to take Marcellus's approach to numbers and make them say what you want them to say as opposed to what they really are. Because the fact of the matter is that the numbers that you pointed out on the big board, and I'm glad you put them on the big board so everybody could see them and they could remember them. Those are based on playing more minutes than he ever has. And the distinction is per 36 minutes, which is a more accurate portrayal of numbers. The shooting, the field goal attempts have gone up. The rebounds have gone down. The assists have gone down at record lows.
Slick, how long is a basketball game, Slick?
48 minutes.
So then why are you telling me about per 36 minutes, Slick? If a basketball game is 48 minutes, Slick, why are you telling me about per 36 minutes? Tell me about what LeBron did during the game, not in 36 minutes,
because
Slick.
you are looking at season averages. You're looking at per game averages that are skewed based on whether you play 38 minutes or you play 33 minutes.
Sure.
When you use 36, it balances all the numbers out so we get the actual production of what you're doing. You conveniently completely ignored his defensive rating, what he's doing at the defensive end. And I can tell you what he's doing. I don't know what the number is, but I can give you a number for what he's doing at the defensive end. It's been zero. Zero he's done at the defensive end. And that's where the Lakers' greatest failing is when your leader is not doing anything at the defensive end. How do you expect anybody else to be making a commitment to the defensive end? That is the failing of LeBron James.
Yeah, the Lakers went to the most expensive restaurant in Los Angeles and ordered a bunch of stuff, and now LeBron is getting the alligator arms when a check's coming.
No, don't do that to LeBron.
Like, lean over, like, oh, yeah, that's what it is. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick. No, everybody has to answer for this failure. This is not the Cleveland Cavaliers. I love my Miami Heat, but this is not the Miami Heat. This is the Los Angeles Lakers, an international brand built on stars and results, not just stars, not just shiny things. There's a lot of banners. There's a lot of excellence in that building. Lakers fans, as delusional as they may be, and they are a little delusional, expectations are a little out of control. What I will give Lakers fans is they have pride and they have expectations.
Sure.
Yep.
They've seen excellence. They've seen dysfunction turn into winning. So the excuses must be few, and the answers need to be given by everyone involved. LeBron can't skate on the results when they are not in the playoffs. Had they made the playoffs, whether they would have gotten swept in the first round or not made it through the play-in tournaments, that doesn't matter. There are standards in Los Angeles. This is serious stuff, what's happened this year. It has been drama all season long, and not all on LeBron, but no one has stepped up and said, it's on me. No one. Not the front office, not the ownership, not Vogel, not LeBron, not Anthony Davis, not Westbrook. Because Anthony Davis saying, oh, what would we have done if we were healthy? No. AD, you missed 9 games in the 2020 season. We know what happened then. You also had some time off. Since then, you've missed 36 and 39 games. I don't even really want to hear from Anthony Davis about what they could accomplish. You're not available. There is no accountability. And LeBron is the face of this organization as such, at least on the court. Somebody has to take some accountability.
Let me exhaust your analogy. And y'all are bringing up phenomenal points. They're wrong, but y'all are bringing up phenomenal points. Joy, we've all been in this situation before where you go to the restaurant, and I've done this. I'll go to the restaurant, and I'll put down my card, right? Bills, $1,000. We there with 10 people. I'll put down my card. Hey, run my card for $500. Let everybody else take the rest of the cash. LeBron put down his card.
Oh, that's how you do it?
And he said,
see, I put down my card, and I said, you know what, I'll let you know what to Venmo me.
No, I don't need all that. I'm going to say I'm going to take the bulk of it. We ain't got to split this equally. I'm going to take the bulk of it, and y'all just split the rest. Y'all can handle that, right?
This is beforehand?
You notice at the end. At the end of the meal.
Okay.
When the check comes out. Right. When the check comes out, because LeBron sat there and he ordered. He did. I'm exhausting this analogy. He ordered. Check came out. He said, y'all run my card. I'll take the bulk of it. Y'all just split the rest. Here's a problem. They couldn't even split the rest.
Here's the problem.
tapping his pockets looking for change.
That's a great analogy. Where has LeBron done that? Have I heard that from LeBron this year? Has LeBron come out and said, it doesn't matter how I'm playing. We're not good enough. It doesn't matter what's going on in the front office. We're not good enough. It doesn't matter what Frank Vogel's trying to do. We're not good enough. That works when you come out with the accountability.
Your actions speak so loud, I can't hear what you're telling me. LeBron James' actions have yelled louder than going to the podium and saying, well, you know what? You can put it all on my shoulders, like Kevin Durant said. LeBron's actions are screaming. Y'all just are not listening.
His actions led them to be outside of the playoffs.
No, it was Anthony Davis' absence that led them there.
Okay, wait a minute. So when LeBron James, when they're, and by the way, there are 17 games under 500. The Los Angeles Lakers are 17 games under 500 with LeBron James, Dwight Howard, Russ Westbrook, Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony. 17 games under 500. You're going to tell me that doesn't tarnish the Lakers brand? I don't care how much he polished it beforehand. This is a huge hit on that. And LeBron James saying, I'm having the time of my life playing the game, just a couple weeks ago? that's accountability for where they are? That's acknowledging that this thing has gone sideways in a major way?
Or making jokes about not being available for the rest of the
Or
season.
an April Fool's joke about I'm out for the rest of the year. I mean, he's having fun.
I'll give you that.
He's having fun. And meanwhile, Lakers Nation, which, look, the years that you talked about, those 5 years, yeah, they were disappointing.
Terrible.
They were still relevant because they were, one, they were the Lakers, and two, there weren't expectations. When you have this kind of star power, when you have LeBron James, there are expectations. And LeBron doubled down on them. When we all said, slow down. This is an old team. LeBron was like, no. Like, keep that same energy, because you just watch. You watch what we do. Okay, we've seen.
I can't believe how ungrateful y'all are. Joy, Slick, this is a situation at hand. This is a situation. The Lakers had an illness. They had an ailment. We've all been here. And the Lakers, like us, we went to the doctor. And the doctor gave us a remedy. And we felt better. But then after a little bit, we reverted back and we don't feel so good anymore. Y'all are going to get mad at the doctor who provided you some relief. Yeah, you don't feel as good anymore, but the doctor provided you relief. LeBron James is the doctor. The Lakers felt terrible from 2013-14 to 2017-18.
Okay.
And they went to the doc. LeBron James, and they felt great.
16 championships before LeBron came there?
The whole long, Joy, the Lakers had not missed the playoffs for back-to-back, let alone five straight seasons.
This is why it doesn't matter how good of a doctor, how good that brace was that LeBron put on for the Lakers. I'm not saying that LeBron isn't responsible for the championship that they just won 2 years ago. But as much as he is responsible for that championship, he has to take some responsibility for the failure. This is the Lakers. This isn't just some organization that's happy to have a championship. This isn't Cleveland, no disrespect. This is the Los Angeles Lakers. So you can't be the king and not take some responsibility. Again, I don't think this is all on LeBron James. I think there's plenty of blame to go around.
We'll get there.
But you can't go up there, not take any accountability all year, claim to have the power, claim to be the face of not just the Lakers, but still of the league. And then all of a sudden, when you're outside of the playoffs, you didn't make the playoffs. It's not like you got swept early and it's disappointing. You didn't make the playoffs. Largest collection of five-time All-Stars to miss the playoffs since the merger. It can't not be a little bit your fault.
Continental Plate merger. We're not even talking ABA, like the beginning of time. Here's my problem with your analogy.
What, Slick? What?
Did the doctor tell you, look, I'm going to make you feel better, but a little bit later you're going to feel a whole lot worse. But that's not on me. That's not on me. That's just on your DNA. That's why you're going to feel bad later, because that's essentially what you're saying. Like, the doctor, if he makes me feel better, but it's going to make me feel worse later. Like, I'm going to put this tourniquet on it, but you know what? You're going to have to get that amputated later because it's going to cut off all the circulation.
That's why they give you so much paperwork when you sign in at the desk. Like, going ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Sure, you missed a signature right there.
Exactly. Yeah, like, yes, the doctor made me feel better, and then I felt worse as a result of his cure. That's on the doctor, too.
Slick. What's the saying? It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. It's better to have won and lost than never to have won at all. And 5 years before LeBron showed up, the Lakers, they hadn't won at all.